So images are a great way to customize your website and make sure it looks more like your brand. And Johanna is here to talk about Websites V2 and the image options we have there.
Yeah, what's really neat is there's a lot of customizations and different ways that you can add images to your website. You can use them in your homepage banner and your page banners. And then beyond that, there's a couple of different ways you can add them to your actual front end site. So one of those is as a component. And that means it's going to be a part of a section, and you can use those either as one or two columns, just an image as a component within a section. The second option that you have is to use it as a background image. And that means that it's not actually a component. It's just the background of an entire section. And so that will take up a little bit more space and fill up the entire section. With that, you can, customize how the section looks. So you can have the edges rounded here like this and at a restricted width, or you could have made that just an entire half of the section, so just all the way across half of the screen without rounded edges as well. The third way that you can add images is in a slideshow. And so this lets you add a lot of images to your website without it being an overwhelming look, all at once seeing all the images. This allows people to scroll through and see all of the images on your site. So to kind of see how these work, the first option, just adding it as a background image, you're just going to add a new section and then go to the settings on your section and then add a background image down at the bottom there. And what that does is that it will, just add the image as the background. It's worth noting that if you have a single column here and there's no content on there, what that'll automatically do is shrink the picture. It'll be really small and narrow. You can't see much there. If you have two columns, that actually helps because then it matches to whatever component you're using on the other side. But if you're using a single column like this, you can make this image bigger by going to section height and enabling a minimum height there. And what that does is that makes the image show up even though there's no content behind it. So the other two ways to add images to your site are both with components. The first one is going to be exactly what you'd think. It is the image component. And that's going to put an image within the container of your section. As you're uploading your image, you can actually crop it as well. So you can change the way that the image looks. You can rotate and you can crop. And that will give you a little bit of flexibility to make sure it looks exactly like you want on the page without having to re-upload the image. So obviously we've showed you this, uploading an image each time, but there is another way that you can access images to add to your website, and that's through Image Gallery. So when you go to add or change an image, the other option that's going to come up in addition to upload is Image Gallery. It's just up at the top there. This is going to allow you to access any images that you've already added to your website or that you used in email across all of your events. And so if you have an image that you just sent out the email yesterday, you can actually go through and access that image to put into your website. Yeah, so Image Gallery will make it really quick and easy for you to access images you've already used. The other option that you have is that you can go to that System Images tab, and that has images that we've uploaded for you from different types of events. These are images that we've licensed and that you are free to use on your website. If you're doing a first-year event and you don't have any fun images yet, feel free to use any of the system images. As you can see here, the pictures do default to being on the left side of your component. But if you want to change that, you can go back to your image and you can actually change the alignment, whether it's left, right, or center, as well as the sizing if you want to make it a half size or a full size image. So the last thing that we mentioned, the other component that you can use to add images is to build a slideshow. So that's just going to be a single component option there. And that'll allow you to upload an image, up to 10 images, one at a time, and those will then scroll through on your website. You can, if you upload them in the wrong order, you can also drag and drop and change the order of them as well. And now you have a website with tons of images that everyone is going to be excited to come to your event.
Unless they don't like bees, in which case there's a bad idea to
fun.
load the page with bee image.
You have to have a very specific audience for the bee images to be a draw.
This is what you're running from.